Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, Gungans, droids, and all of you exiled individuals out there to today's video where we are going to be giving you your conquest guide for the brand new Ezra Bridger Exiled. I know your favorite game mode in Galaxy, but jokes aside, this guy is gonna be a big deal in this game. So let's sit down and get you ready to knock out this upcoming Conquest Challenge. So let's quickly knock out the bullet points that we usually hit in these guides. We've done a lot of Conquest guides, so this shouldn't be too new. So to hit Gold Crate, you're gonna be able to skip 134 total key cards. And if you're going for Red Crate for that pure perfection, you can skip out on 34 key cards to skip out on feats. Let me just go quickly show you what I'm planning on doing for my free-to-play accounts. We're gonna be going over all these different feats and how to tackle them, but just at a quick glance for my free-to-play account. And again, your mileage is gonna vary depending on what you have and what you don't have and what you have the will to do. Mostly for a variety of things that I'm not gonna be able to access, such as, for example, I don't have Luthen yet. I don't have full teams of Gungans for specific feats. I don't want to deal with having to have Morgan Elsbeth try to get kills. I don't have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. So again, you might have some of that stuff, you might not. You might not have Queen Amidala, but my free-to-play account does. So go through this list and try to tally up what you're not going to be able to do so you have a good plan going into this. And then the other thing we got to talk about very quickly, Datadisk. Datadisks are going to pretty much determine how easy of a run you're going to have. At the time of this video, we're not 100% sure what the Datadisks will be, but likely it's going to be one of the following. Either there's going to be Zealous Ambition, and that's going to be one of the best sets you can build up like this build here, or like we saw last cycle during Luthen, we had several meta sets that were in at the same exact time. So you had options like the Zealous Ambition, or you had options like Amplify Agony with the Ability Exhaust, the Volatile Accelerator. So whatever the case might be, as you're going through, try to build one of these sets. So let's get this party started. Show you the global feats that Ezra Bridger Exile is going to require. It's always good to start here because as you're navigating through everything else with the other sectors, you kind of want to be able to tackle multiple things at once that tie into the global feats. For the global feats, as we see here, we got them hit our 250 enemies on the Golden Challenge path. That's nothing new. You're going to need to win at least 20 battles with a full squad of Night Sisters. We also need to have Stagger to inflict 100 times, win 20 battles with a full squad of Imperial Remnants, win 15 battles with at least 4 Gungans in your squad, gain massively overpowered 20 times, which is tied to completing the 4 Gungans. And then we have Master Qui-Gon survive 15 times and complete a battle with deployable cooling systems, which you are granted when you complete the Master Qui-Gon surviving feat. So here's what it looks like. When it comes to Remnants, you kind of got a few options here. If you don't have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, you don't have Enoch, you're kind of stuck with using the OG Moff Gideon lead and then throw in the Remnants that we have. Death Trooper, maybe Dark Trooper, Stormtrooper, TIE Fighter pilot. Not the best Imperial Remnant crew, but it can get the job done if you need to knock it out. But maybe a lot of you guys have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and that's going to be a lot easier. With Dark Trooper Moff Gideon lead at the helm, you're going to have a lot easier of a time. And plus, if someone dies, you can resurrect them again. And then in certain situations, Enoch with the Remnant zombies is going to be the way to go. However, it's kind of a newer squad, but I'm going to tell you this. Do not completely skip out on anything revolving Enoch and some of the Night Trooper, Death Trooper, Proteus stuff. It's going to be very cheesable. I know it looks scary at a glance, but don't worry. You got the King of Troop B to help you navigate through that. Night Sisters 20 times. Nothing too fancy about that. We've seen these time and time again. Lots of staggers. This should be the easiest thing for you to accomplish. A lot of you guys are probably going to go for that Emperor Palpatine lineup with Mara Jade. Lots of staggers on that entire team. But you got some other options. Maybe some Sabine Wrens we're going to sprinkle in there. Sana Stars also has a pretty solid stagger. Kira's got one. Bas Lashan also has one. So you have a lot of opportunities at your disposal. Do not skip. I'm telling you guys, do not skip. A lot of people for some reason did last time during Luthen. This is one you cannot skip. Win with 4 Gungans on your team. Now keep in mind, it doesn't say they need to survive. So what I did on my free-to-play account, obviously you're not going to use Coruscant Underworld Police as a lead unless you're really bold. You can have 4 Gungans, throw in a Galactic Legend of your choosing, and then just have them win on some easy battle in Sector 1. Do not skip this. Do not skip this. Do not skip this. I don't care if your Gungans are level 1. Throw them with a Galactic Legend or whatever strong character you have. This is non-negotiable, people. And then you have Master Qui-Gon surviving, which you got a lot of ways to plug it in. We're going to have a variety of Jedi lineups that we're going to showcase. So you can do something with Jedi Knight Luke, maybe have Queen Amidala, Master Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master Kenobi. It's kind of another one that you're going to try not to skip as well. If you're going to have to skip one, it might be because of maybe you don't have a good remnant squad, but most other stuff, let's try not to skip it, okay? So with that said, let's start going through our adventures on the first sector, Sector 1, where we have to inflict tenacity down 50 times. We need to win 10 battles of Morgan Elsbeth surviving. We also need to apply decay 50 times, and then defeat 35 enemies, Gungan units. And then, of course, you got your mini-boss and boss stuff, which is very specific stuff. We're going to focus on the general overview stuff that we're going to need to do. You got lots of options when it comes to tenacity down, and this is going to be a big opportunity to knock out that stagger global feat with the tenacity down that we have here. So, for example, the Phoenix crew is going to be great. Captain Rex applying the tenacity down, Sabine Wren throwing a bunch of staggers out there. You can also be throwing Zeb. He doesn't have as much, but he could still do that as well to help you kind of feed into that global stagger feat. But also we have that Emperor Palpatine opportunity where Mara Jade applies tenacity down, and pretty much everyone else on that team is going to be applying staggers as well on top of that. Or, this is the latest hotness on the block, Rebel Officer Leergana is getting a crazy powerhouse play, and currently this could be nerfed over the next couple months. We don't know, but as it stands, Rolo with Sana Staros is great, and the great thing is Sana Staros has some stagger that she can apply, as well as tenacity down. So again, 2-for-1 special for this, and throw in Sabine if you want to double dip on the stagger, and throw in Captain Rex if you want to double dip on the tenacity down, and throw in Chewbacca if you want to throw down more tenacity down. There's probably a good chance you're going to knock out that global feat for the staggers very quickly in this Sector 1. But now we move on to the stuff that a lot of you guys are probably going to be like, oh, I don't have it, I'm going to pass out on it. And we're going to talk about the Enoch zombies with the Night Trooper and Death Trooper and the Captain Enoch as well. Good opportunity here for tenacity down. Death Trooper has a tenacity down on his ability necrotic tissue. But you might be saying to yourself, decay kind of sucks. This should be very cheesable, even with low gear people. Actually, it might be even easier with low gear individuals. Decay is only accessible currently through the Enoch lead, Arbit of Decay. Long story short, you want your characters to be dying because when they're about to die, they essentially get resurrected again and gain a stack of decay, as you can read it right here. So as long as your characters aren't being critically hit, you're going to get a lot of decay. So what you might want to consider is doing this despite not having crazy Imperial remnants that kind of feed into decay. I'm going to do this on my free-to-play account. I would highly recommend you throw the Zeta on Ominous Sentinel, because this gives you minus 350% critical chance on the enemy, which pretty much ensures your team can't be critically hit. Without this, you're going to have a hard time getting decay because you're going to get critically hit more, which means you're likely not going to get decay. So this likely is going to require Zeta to cheese it up. So throw in Enoch, whatever Imperial remnants you have, let them die off. You don't need to win. If you can't win, that's fine. Just let them die off. You could potentially get lots of decay in one battle because they can get, each character can get decay up to 9 times. So if you have some really garbage geared Enoch crew, they're going to die a bunch of times and get tons of decay. This is one you probably should not be skipping. Again, nothing too crazy, but again, you're gonna need to have that Enoch Zeta in order to get the full benefit of decay. All right, and then the last thing we have is the Gungan crew here. We defeat 35 enemies of Gungan units. This might be one you guys skip out on. If you don't have crazy geared Gungans that can actually get kills, it might kind of suck. You also got tenacity down on the Gungans too, so you're also gonna double dip into that sector feat. And then Morgan Elsbeth surviving 10 times. Just throw her in whatever good crew you have that she's not gonna be targeted. As long as she's alive, it doesn't matter where she is. Let's keep moving on. Talk about Sector 2. Sector 2. Gain bonus turn 50 times. Defeat 35 enemies with Morgan Elsbeth. Gain alert 20 times. Attempt to inflict breach 50 times. And the usual random stuff that you see for the mini bosses and the boss stuff. So let's take a look at this. Bonus turn spam. This right here, that top one of Darth Vader, Han Solo, Wat Tambor, Maul, and Malik, that's probably going to be your best bet to get a bunch of bonus turns. Han Solo gets a bonus turn at the very start of the battle. Darth Vader, when you go into Merciless Massacre, he keeps getting bonus turns until all Merciless has been dispelled off of the enemy. So that can be a lot of bonus turns right there. What is that, Gary? Like 8 bonus turns just from one round of Merciless Massacre? 6? Yeah, let's just say like 5 or 6. But if he does it repetitively, that's a big deal. Wat Tambor gets a bonus turn at the very start. Maul, when he uses Anguish, he keeps taking bonus turns until he has no more Anguish. So that's also going to be a big push for it. And then you have Darth Malik, who who gets bonus turns when he hits the variety of thresholds that give him bonus turns to try to heal up very quickly. This right here, this should not be a problem. This is pretty much the best way to get bonus turns, fam. You don't have to necessarily use that composition, but those characters in a variety of lineups should help. But this should be a no-brainer. If for some reason you don't have any of those, you can try to go for General Grievous and his Metalloid Monstrosity unique ability. When droids die or separatists die, he gets a bonus turn. It'll get the job done, but you're going to be dropping a lot of stars along the way. So try to stick to that first row. All those guys have great bonus turns here. This is probably going to be one that you're going to want to end up skipping, the Elsbeth kills. Right now, before the Great Mothers come, they're going to be coming here very shortly. This might be a little bit different of a story, but as of now, especially if you don't have a great Elsbeth up and running, you're not getting the Great Mothers, this might be one you skip out on. She's not really a damage dealer at the current time. We have to wait to see what the Great Mothers do, but otherwise, plain and simple, try to get some kills. Some people seem to forget sometimes, Morgan Elsbeth does not work that great with Talzin. She prevents revives on her own team, so you can't try to cheese this with like a Mother Talzin. She'll die, she comes back. You cannot revive with Morgan Elsbeth. As you can see here, defeated allies can't be revived, so you got to be kind of careful. Hopefully it'll be easier, but right now that's probably gonna be one you're gonna skip out on. Next up, we have a alert situation all across the nation. Alert right now is only on one character, and that is gonna be the Night Trooper. This guy gets alert, and unfortunately this one's gonna take a little bit of time to get up and running. There's really no other way of getting around it. Night Trooper, he's got to do it 20 times. It's kind of a pain. It's kind of tedious. Is it impossible? No, but it's kind of annoying to deal with. Then we have ourselves, and also keep in mind, you can do it at the Remnant team, which is going to help you out with the global feat. Also, Scout Trooper's got a stagger, which should also contribute to the global feat. So it's kind of a 3-for-1 type of situation. You could also throw alert with the Night Sisters. You could technically do Night Trooper with Talzin. Get the job done. So if you don't have a good Remnant team, you could try it out with that. And then we got a couple of interesting things right here. Here's another suggestion when it comes to Breach. This is going to double dip into several things. It's going to double dip into your Breach. It's going to go into your staggers and your bonus turn. Paz Vizsla, on his special ability, Ancestral Broadside, he's able to inflict Breach on everybody. It's going to be good with the Maul lead. Maul gets the bonus turns of Anguish, as we've discussed here. And then, of course, Sabine has the staggers on her Demolish, assuming you have the Zeta. And then Wat Tambor also gets a bonus turn. So this is going to be a good team to knock out a variety of feats on the global and the sector level. And I guess if you wanted to, you could also do a Master Luke cheese. You don't need to, but that's your opportunity. First off, Wat Tambor gets a bonus turn. Put the tank tech on Jedi Master Luke, and just keep calling Master Qui-Gon to assist because he inflicts breach on the Taru Strike. A lot of opportunities again. The feats at a glance look a little annoying, but you know, we're going to help you one step at a time to get through it. And on that note, let's get to the next step, which is going to be Sector 3. Sector 3, we're seeing Evasion Up kind of come back from last conquest. Get that 50 times. Win 15 battles with the Night Sister Acolyte surviving. Gain Retaliate 15 times. And win 15 battles with a full squad of Geonosians. And of course, you got some other little misfit things after that requiring very, very specific characters. Let's take a look at what we have. Very easy to knock out. I guess if you have the Padawan Obi-Wan Omicron, I guess you got an opportunity to make that easy. But we have lots of ways to get Evasion Up. Echo, as we know from last time, when he fists the enemy, he gives Evasion Up to all the clone troopers. You also have opportunities with Han Solo to go and get even more Evasion Up for the team. So you can use that again. Several ways of going about it. Shouldn't be too complicated. Acolyte surviving, this might be one you skip out on if you don't have Night Sisters built up. At this one, look at your roster. You might skip out on this, or you just rely on the Night Sister cheese to keep Acolyte alive throughout the course of the battle. This one's going to be very annoying. What I would recommend probably doing for this one is maybe trying to do some cheese. You know, get yourself the Frenzy Tech, and then get Wat Tambor to get a bonus turn to trigger the turn meter on the Gungan Phalanx, so you can get Retaliate. There is only one character in the game that gets Retaliate. It's this guy, and you got to do it 15 times. So this is one of those. You need the will. You need the willpower to do that one there. And then, of course, Geonosians, you got to win 15 times with those guys. And I guess as a bonus, Sunfac also has a stagger on Spiteful Strike. If you're still having a hard time with that global feat, which you shouldn't. Let's move on. We have Sector 4 on the way over here. Gain Tenacity up 50 times. Win 15 battles of Kelleran back in your squad. Attempt to inflict or gain Blight 40 times. Defeat 30 enemies with Night Sisters. And the other stuff in the way, but you might have a bit of a hard time with those other things because Jar Jar Binks needs to survive, and a lot of you guys probably do not have Jar Jar Binks or Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. So again, when you're doing your calculation, there are just some feats you're going to be completely screwed out of even trying. First thing I want to make note, Caloran Beck is going to be kind of the focal point for this sector, but the good news is he doesn't need to survive. He just needs to be present in the battle. Whether or not he survives doesn't matter. So if you don't have a great Caloran Beck, just throw him with like whatever team you have. Throw him with the Galactic Legend. If he dies, he dies. This is one of those you shouldn't be skipping out on. But you have a couple ways. If you do have a good Caloran Beck, you got a couple of cool ways to take advantage of him. Throw in Caloran Beck with Grandmaster Yoda and Master Qui-Gon. You're going to be doing several things with a tenacity up. Master Qui-Gon surviving for that global feat. Or you could do something of Jedi Knight Luke lead. Or you could do something of Jedi Master Luke lead. Jedi Knight Revan lead. Or you could do Master Kenobi. A lot of ways to tackle the Caloran Beck thing. Tenacity up, Grandmaster Yoda, Captain Rex are probably going to be your best bang per buck. Grandmaster Yoda should be able to pump out lots and lots and lots of tenacity up through battle meditation. So shouldn't be too many problems there. What you might run into a problem with is mostly the Blight. So we have a situation here where you could technically triple dip with the Remnant team to try to knock out the global feat. Also, we need some Night Sister kills. We need to defeat 30 Night Sisters. Well, you know, that Trooper Peridia, Night Trooper, they're Night Sisters as well. But Blight is going to be the biggest problem. Blight, if you use Enoch lead, as we're going to discuss, it's a lot easier. You get Blight by using the basic on Night Trooper. You can inflict some Blight with this ability, Share My Suffering. And then Death Trooper Peridia doesn't have that many ways to inflict Blight. You can try just a little nibble. That'll also inflict Blight on the enemy. So there's going to be probably an easier way, kind of like the cheese we discussed in Sector 1 at the K. So hold on to your hoists for a second. Night Sister kills, pretty straightforward. Nothing much to really talk about there. Talzin lead's going to be the way to go. You can try to do Death Trooper Peridia, Night Trooper with Talzin if you want to try to double dip. The easiest way to get Blight is going to be using your Enoch. Now again, you don't need to win the battle. What you're going to want to do, I don't want to go too much into it. It's pretty much the same exact thing. With Enoch, again, when your troopers are about to die, assuming they didn't get critically hit, they're going to basically get a stack of decay. But you're like, okay, but where's the Blight? The unique ability on Ominous Sentinel. On this ability here, whenever an Imperial Remnant ally gains a stack of decay, they inflict Blight on all enemies which can't be copied, dispelled, or evaded. So this is going to be the one that's going to make it super easy to get lots of Blight. And again, you don't need great Imperial Remnants up and running. They just need to almost die, come back to life, and they're going to spam lots of Blight. So if you're having a hard time doing it the old-fashioned way of just Night Trooper basic and a special ability, but don't you worry, you guys are going to be Enoch aficionados, knowing how to cheese that feat. We have Sector 5 right around the corner. Last sector that we need to discuss here. Sector 5, accuracy up 50 times, attempt to inflict plague 100 times, defeat 25 enemies of Death Trooper Peridia, and then win with Genos and Spies surviving, and some other things that might get in your way. You might not have Luthen Rail, you might not have Padawan Obi-Wan, so these, keep in mind, if you don't have them, that's going to chip away at your 134 budget or 34 budget, depending on which crate you're going for. So we got a lot of ways for accuracy up. These are some repeats from Last Conquest for Luthen. Scarif Rebel Pathfinder applies accuracy up on the basic, and they're going to be called a ton to assist with Mon Mothma. No problem. You also got other opportunities. Bastila Shan has accuracy up. Make sure you target Grandmaster Yoda, so then Grandmaster Yoda can spread it around town. And it could be Jedi Revan lead, Jedi Master Luke lead, whatever Jedi lead you have. As long as you get Bastila Shan and Yoda having a good time, you're going to have a good time, my friend. Or if you really want to spam it up, try out this Jedi Master Luke team. Jedi Master Luke with Seer Junda, Wat Timbar put the tank tech over on Luke so he taunts, and then you have Bastila Shan and Yoda, as we discussed, that can get accuracy up. But with Master Luke, keep targeting Seer Junda for the assist, because she grants accuracy up to all allies. This should make that accuracy up no problem. Call her to assist 10 times, everyone gets accuracy up. Super easy, try not to skip out on this. You also, funny enough, have accuracy up on Dark Trooper Moff Gideon with Unwavering Presence. Boom, all allies gain accuracy up. So you could do it with an all Remnant team, you can use it at any team. It's all allies, doesn't have to be Imperial Remnant allies. It's going to feed into the variety of feats that we've discussed. Your biggest problem that you're probably going to have here is trying to get the kills with Death Trooper Peridia, defeating 25 enemies with him. If you don't have him geared up that well, this could be a little bit more challenging. So this one might be on the cutting block for skipping out on this. If you don't have him geared up, kind of hard for him to get the kills. Plague, straightforward. You guys know how to get plagues at this point. You could try to do Death Trooper Peridia with Talzin. Maybe if you do Amplify Agony, everyone's almost dead. Death Trooper Peridia can try to kill him. The cool thing is, I'm going to give you a little trick. Try to kill enemies that are almost like dead, because he can take back-to-back-to-back turns if he's getting the finishing blow on them. So if you can try to line up the perfect shot, you can get those kills pretty quickly. Spy surviving 15 times, throw it with your Genosian team. It doesn't matter what team he's in, as long as it's a team where he's surviving. Heck, throw him with Lord Vader. I don't know, throw him with Supreme Leader Kyle. As long as he's surviving, that doesn't matter what the team composition is looking like. But overall, people, that is your bullet point overview on how I'm personally going to be tackling this Conquest cycle. Again, at the surface, yes, there's some annoying things. It wouldn't be Conquest if it wasn't annoying, and it wasn't Chari. Hopefully this is going to help you knock out all those things that seem impossible and make Exile Ezra Bridger a little bit more obtainable for you guys. But that's going to be it for today, my friends. Thank you so much for stopping by. Best of luck in your Conquest grind, and hopefully in the next couple months, when we unlock them together, we're all going to be saying how it's great to be in the Empire today.
The sun never sets. We dominate. We're stronger.